Hello everybody! Welcome to the first ever Top 10 video on Tactical Rush 2K14. Well, the reason I'm doing this video right now is because the episode that this footage is supposed to be in, episode 5 of the Crystal version Nuzlocke Challenge, there's a jump cut in the middle of that episode, and that's where this takes place. Now this footage is basically just going to be me going and training Carl, getting the Magikarp up to level 20, and evolving into a Gyarados. So you can basically disregard all the footage you see and just focus on my voice. Now, it's top 10 handheld games, in my opinion. So, by that, it's going to be pretty opinionated. I have a pretty big bias to most of the games that I grew up with. So it's not going to be like, which game has the best, like, I'm not going to go down to all the gameplay mechanics and like all that, which I guess if I found it fun, it probably has pretty good gameplay mechanics, or it was just something cool that I found when I was 6 and I loved it and it's had a special place in my heart ever since. So, rules are pretty simple. 1 game per franchise, and they have to be handheld. And I've had to have played it. So, without further ado, I present to you Top 10 Handheld Games presented by Chandler. Number 10. Number 10 is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for the Game Boy Color. Now the reason that this is on my list is because it is one of the first 2 games I ever played on Game Boy Color, or handheld in general. One of probably the first 10 video games I've ever played. This game, the reason why I think it made this list is because it was the game that introduced me to RPGs and that style of gameplay, and that stuck with me throughout my entire life. So yes, this game is on here mainly for nostalgia and what its impact on me, but I still love this game, and I haven't played it for probably 6-7 years now, but I still really enjoy it, and I think after I make this video I'm probably going to go give it a play real quick. Number 9 is Mario Land 2, the 6 gold coins. Now this game, other than Super Mario World, I believe is the first Mario game I ever played. Which, I mean, that's, Mario is kind of a big name, and it is what introduced a lot of people to video games. So, the reason that this is on my list is because me and my brother would play this game. Since he's older than me, he'd be playing, sitting with the Game Boy Color, and then I'd probably be looking over his shoulder, watching him play, and then I got a chance to play, and I'd always get all 6 golden coins, and I'd get to the final, it was like a mansion, I think. Yeah, get to the final mansion, and I was never able to beat it. I haven't beaten it yet, because I think I put it down after so long and just was like, you know what, no, I'm not gonna do it. So I have never beaten this game, and I think that challenge was one of the reasons that it kept me so enthralled, because I probably played through it up to that point good 10 times, if not higher. Number 8 is Advanced Wars on the Game Boy Advance. Now this game is on here for about half because of its nostalgic meaning to me, and about half because it's a great game. Now I didn't really delve into single player too much. What I did, I think I got about halfway through the campaign and then wasn't able to get much farther because I just kind of sucked at the game. But what really shined about this game was its multiplayer, because it was 4-player local on 1 Game Boy. Me and my friends would always used to play it, and I can remember having some epic moments where I just build up an army and then send it towards my enemies, or my friend's base, and then having both of our armies clash. And that proved for some seriously intense moments. This game I didn't really use the AI too much because, again, I had friends to play with, so I can't really say too much about that. But this is definitely a game to look into if you haven't already. Number 7 is WarioWare Twisted for the Game Boy Advance. Now this game, I can remember the day that I got it. Me and 2 of my brothers were at Walmart with my grandma, and she told us that we could pick out a $20 game. So we were looking at this huge stack of $20 games, and we were just sifting through it for maybe like 10-15 minutes. And then we come across this game, and it's totally different because, I mean, it has this huge thing on the back of the cartridge, and it's in this huge box, and we were like, whoa, this must be like the best game ever made. I mean, we were probably like 11 at the time. So, we get the game, bring it home, and we start playing it, and we're like, couldn't keep our hands off of it. I mean, the next 3 days, I think we were all in this one little room just sitting around and watching whoever was playing it at the time, and we were just having a blast. Now this game, I can say that it is on here not just because of nostalgia, even though it has a lot of nostalgic value for me. It has one of the most unique gameplay mechanics for the time that it was released, and it has so many mini-games that are just hilarious, and it's just so fun to play. So if you haven't, and you can find an actual like hard copy of this game, I'd go out and get it, because it is very well worth playing it. Number 6 is Final Fantasy V for the Game Boy Advance. Now, this game was not initially released on the Game Boy Advance, but it is the first way that I was able to play it. Now this game is my favorite of all the Final Fantasy games that I've played, and it has my favorite feature of all of them, which is job system. Now, the reason that I like it so much is because you're able to carry over skills that you learned from one job into another job if you have enough skills. If you have enough AP, I think they were. That is awesome because you can take over, like, summoning into a black magic, and then you could summon and then cast, like, Blaze or Fire-Aga or something like that, and just totally devastate. I also must say, I love the storyline, and Bartz is one of my favorite characters, as well as X-Death is one of my favorite villains. So, if you like Final Fantasy, haven't played this, it's classic, go play it. Number 5 is a toss-up between Dragon Ball Z Boo's Fury and Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2. Now both of these games are awesome, but they have some differences. Like, Boo's Fury is very easy, and Legacy of Goku 2 can be difficult at times. But Boo's Fury has a lot more of a RPG feel where you can equip things and you spend money and that kind of thing, when Legacy of Goku 2 seems to lack that sort of thing. Now, I don't think I'm even going to decide this one, because they're both awesome for different reasons, but a lot for the same reasons. There isn't much that goes, gameplay-wise, there isn't much that goes away. Storyline-wise, of course, it's a totally different saga of Dragon Ball Z, but the gameplay is what really matters, because they're the same. So, this isn't going to be decided. They're both amazing games. The RPG feel to a Dragon Ball Z game is very much welcome. I really wish they did a lot more of that. But if you haven't checked either of these out, again, like I said with all these, go check them out. Number 4 is Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. Now this is actually kind of surprising for me, because The Link's Awakening was my favorite game of all time for about 4 or 5 years. And then I played this game, and it was a lot of fun. I remember the first time I got this game, I think I played through it in 2 or 3 days straight, and that's really all I did. Now, again, I was pretty young back then, so it took me a while to do things. But this game, the gameplay is awesome. The improved graphics over Link's Awakening make it have some of the best ambience in a handheld game. Like, I remember in the swamp. I love in the swamp and the graveyard. The graveyard was actually really creepy, to me at least. And I guess I have nothing bad to say about this game. I just need to get another hard copy of it. So, this is my favorite Legend of Zelda game. If you've not played it, play it. Number 3 is where the big ones start coming. Number 3 is Pokemon Crystal version. And as you can probably tell, I enjoy this game. Now, this game was the first ever game that I could call my own on the first ever system that I could call my own, Game Boy Color. This game, within the first few months I had it, few months, maybe half a year, I don't know however long it was, I probably logged 300 hours into this one playthrough. And then my cartridge broke, and I was completely devastated. Now, this game, I have nothing bad to say about it, other than that I wish it was longer, and I wish it was a little bit harder. Other than that, I love it. The music, I think, is just top-notch. The look of the game is just wonderful, and again, I have nothing bad to say about this game. If you haven't played this game, play it. That's all you can do. I mean, if you played Pokemon, play this game. If you enjoy RPGs, play this game. If you play video games, play this game. That's all I have to say about this. Number 2 is Golden Sun 1 and Golden Sun 2: The Lost Age. Yes, it is 2 games, but they each form an overlapping story. These games are wonderful. If you haven't played them, play them. They have just touched me so much, and they have impacted my view of video games as like an art form, essentially. And they've just blew my mind, I guess. The story is, of course, the second best story of any handheld game that I've ever played. And the battle system is one of my favorites. I love the fact that changing which Djinni, I believe, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly at all, but Djinn, I believe, D-J-I-N-N, changing how many each one of your teammates has changes their class, which changes their stats, which changes the magic they can use and what they're good at. That is one of the coolest things to me, and I just love the amount of customization that you have with your teammates. This game also is just so fun to play. It has such nice quirks, and just it's so funny at times, but it also has times which a lot of the game is very serious, and a lot of the game has a tone where you don't know what's going to happen, but you know that when it happens, you're going to be on the edge of your seat. This game, highly, highly recommended, but there's one game that's better than it. Number 1 is Mother 3. Mother 3 was never released in America. I had to play it on an emulator fairly recently with a fan-made English translation. But this game is phenomenal. The story is just mind-blowing. As I've said, this is my favorite story on a handheld. Probably top 5, I'd say, stories overall. And it is so funny, it is so serious, it is so heart-wrenching, it is so... Everything about this game just screams with emotion, just pulls at your heartstrings, makes you have a blast, and just makes you wish that this game was about 50 times longer than it is. It's a fairly long game as it is, but this game is going to make you want so much. This game has an awesome combat system. If you've ever played Earthbound, which is another one that's not on handheld, so I didn't include it. If you played that, it has pretty much the same combat system, but this game has some of the funniest characters. There's an enemy that you face that's just this depressed guy, and he'll just say things like, "Why am I even here?" or "I shouldn't even be alive," and stuff like that. And it has some of like the funniest characters. I'm just rambling now. This game is absolutely wonderful. I would have to say that it's a masterpiece, and I have no idea why it hasn't been released in America. If you have the resources to play this game, play this game. I can't talk this game up enough. I can't believe that I can't believe it hasn't been released in America, I guess. Mother 3 is in my top 10 lists of games overall. It's my number 1 game on handheld, and it has just impacted me so much. Of course, it's a turn-based RPG, but it is so much more. I would have to say that if you can call video games art, I would have to say that this is one of the runners for that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything that any support you've given, any feedback you've given. Tell me if you've liked this kind of format of video. If you like the top 10, let me know. Let us know. We can totally start doing these. It took a little while longer than a normal video to complete, of course, but it's something I would love to do. I enjoy top 10 lists myself, so it's up to you guys. We'll keep making them. We'll keep making our videos, and you keep watching. You keep telling your friends. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, and that's it.